going to tell you a book called Any Red Hair in Green Gables. This is a story from L.M. Montgomery. She is a very famous writer in Canada, and she lived in an island where Canada is called something about Prince Edward. Okay, so let's begin. Since Rachel and there was actually a woman who already have 10 child. She lived next neighbor with Maria in the Green Gables. The Green Gables was very lonely and sad. There is a couple lived there, Maria Cuthbert and Matthew Cuthbert, who wanted to adopt a child, a boy, a baby, a child that was actually a boy. So Matthew, one day Rachel saw Matthew all going away. I think he was just going to the station to pick up the child. So Rachel came and asked what were they doing. Marilla said that Matthew are going to get a child that the family were going to adopt him, which led Rachel very, very surprised because Marilla never adopted a child once in her life, and she would never know how to care for a child, especially for a boy one. So, but Rachel and Dad don't say anything. She just said that it will be alright, and he come. When Matthew come to the station, the first thing he was surprised of was there was a girl which was very red hair and very ugly, with a lot of black spots in her face and her hair that was very bright red color, which was very ugly, and she was not very perfect like all other girls and ladies was. But everybody in the station were all gone, so he think that it must be very early. So he asked the gardener what time will the station come. The train was actually have already come to the station and left the child there for Matthew Cuthbert who later come and pick her. Matthew was very surprised because the child was not actually a boy, but the child was actually a girl. So Matthew don't know what to do. Think of one way is that he will come to Marilla to help, and so they went on because actually the child was talkative a lot. When on the road away to home, she talked about everything. It was so weird. She talked about the pond, she talked about the stage, she talked about how she get there with a woman, and a lot more. Until they reached the home now, and until she reached the home, Marilla was very surprised indeed. She think that must be a girl, not a boy at all. But when she found that girl was actually a girl, she was very astonished. She think of a way to leave him back, but Annie was very sad. Matthew, however, was surprised at it because he understand what the child really wanted to be a good home, and that she's not a normal child, she's really weird. So he think of a way to let her. He said to Marilla that he wanted to adopt a child. The child name was Annie Shirley, from somewhere almost in the city from Canada. She have a family. That what she was just telling her life story was like. Her mother and father was actually a very beautiful couple. They are very handsome and beautiful. They born out a girl which was red hair but very beautiful, right in the sunshine, of course. And the two couples suddenly fell ill and died because the fever sickness, which led the 3-month-old baby Annie Shirley to be adopted from a woman. Then that woman have adopted her, and she lived until she's about 6. That is when when her adopted family have to go away, so she had to adopt it by another family. This family wanted her come to help guard all this baby, which was born as twin for 3 times. So she had to adopt. So she while she is becoming adopted, she also had to take care of the 3 type twins baby. So, but thankfully then, well, her life was very good actually. But suddenly, suddenly the father had died, which led their mother to take care of the baby. But Annie Shirley wasn't allowed to, because the mother and all the baby twins will go away with their aunt, which left Annie Shirley alone until she's coming to the adopted center, where there she have a lot of things to think and to do. Her favorite hobby was just thinking, imagining almost anything to become beautiful. That is when she have in the adopted center for 4 months until uh, until the until the people who guarded her said that she will have another family come to adopt with her. She was very happy and very joyful. Marilla listened her every word, and she suddenly become very sad because Annie Shirley have been in adopted family for a lot of adopted family. She never have a regular family. So while in her way, Marilla thinks what to do. Until she reached the woman's home again, the family of Andrew, I guess. Mrs. Andrew come out and meet Marilla, but Marilla said that why Matthew and Maria wanted a boy, not a girl, and Andrew have get her a girl. That is when the story from Mr. Andrews, I don't know, I think Pie or something, coming and said that Marilla wanted a girl baby to be adopted. So that is when she going to come and get what she wants. Marilla understands this at once, that something must be wrong with that man, but she think of Annie Shirley was very beautiful girl, and there will be a new neighbor wanted adopted Annie as well. But Marilla refused to let her, because I think that because the neighbor, Marilla heard that the new neighbor was not a very good neighbor. That neighbor was very angry and loved to make a lot of bad things with the children, not a good thing. So Marilla think that she must adopt the baby as well, because she think that the baby needed her, and also thinking that Matthew will be very happy to have the baby, to have the Annie Shirley. So she thanked you, Mrs. Pye, and went home. And to Matthew's surprise, Matthew saw that Marilla was actually getting the baby. He was very surprised indeed. But he also did not wanted Annie Shirley coming back to get all the things before left, until Marilla said in the news that Annie wanted to stay in the Green Gable, which led Matthew very happy. For Annie, she isn't, Marilla don't talk to her yet, because she's too sad and too sorrowful and a lot of things. The first thing for her is that she must pray in the nights for the gods. All the children must be praying for the night unto gods. So Marilla teach her how to pray. But instead of praying the regular way like all the other girls and boys do, Annie Shirley prayed in a different kind of way, which was also very beautiful. And Marilla was very surprised about that indeed, but she doesn't like it. Marilla was actually not a very mean people, but she's people that love to be not very rich and more beautiful. She just become normal, that's all. And her dress was not like rich and beautiful with like something in your arms. That time was very hot, but it's just a normal dress, and yeah, that's all. So Marilla wasn't hate like this, so she going to teach Annie how to pray regular the next day. Everything was went very so since Annie Shirley's are coming to the Green Gable, everything have changed because from the house it was very quiet, peaceful, and seemed like very bored, but become a house which was very noisy, very happy, very a lot of things because of little Annie Shirley have come to the family and helped them. But Annie Shirley also a very big problem maker as well. One day Rachel and they are coming to the Green Gable to meet Annie Shirley. There, Annie Shirley have heard what Rachel Linda said when Annie come in. She said she was very small. She have red hair and a lot of black dots around her face, which like very weird. And that Rachel and they have to say that child was not a very good child because it was too ugly, and that is make Annie Shirley very angry. Nobody going to say a word about what her hair was look like, and she stopped and said to Marilla that in an angry voice that Rachel and they could not talk like that to Annie Shirley, and she started to yelling, and oh my gosh, what a bad baby she was, right? What a bad girl she was. Well, Marilla was very surprised to hear this. She also very sorry and very sad about Rachel and Dad. After Rachel have gone, she comes straight into Annie's room and said that was a very naughty thing to do. So Annie the next day had to come and said sorry to Rachel and Dad. And that is when she was out. But of course, Annie still don't know that she was going to stay in Green Gable until the third day when Annie was just tidying up the houses a little bit. Marilla said that after she washing the dishes done, she was going to tell Annie Shirley a good news. So Annie washed them and then asked Marilla, "What is this?" Marilla said to Annie that she was going to stay in the Green Gables with Matthew and Marilla, which makes Annie Shirley really happy and very joyful as well. So now she's going to stay and going to have a lot of friends there. Her life had changed, and that life had changed for just 1 year when the life happened more better now. Annie Shirley had met a new friend named Diana Barry from the next door house. Diana Barry also, like Annie Shirley, really liked thinking and imagining a lot of things. Annie Shirley come to school, met Mr. Charlie, which Mr. Charlie was not a very good not a very good teacher. He always punished Annie more than the other people, and Annie was very angry that she stopped away. Also, she met Gilbert Blythe. Gilbert Blythe has something to do with her because when he saw the red-haired Annie, he started to play a prank on Annie, which made Annie very angry that she dashed a bird toward his head and bam! That is when Charlie saw what Annie had done, and Annie had been punished for the rest of the afternoon school days. And for the second time as a bad teacher, the other boys went in last before Charlie met up, and Annie was the only girl who been punished. That made Annie very angry. So after the school day, she gathered all her things and went home and not learning in the school again. She stomped down and started to learn by herself. Marilla was going to talk about what happened to Linda, and Linda said that all she had to do is just ignore her and let her do her duties until the school day, until she was going to agree to come back to the school. So Marilla do what Rachel said, and yes, Annie was such a good learner. She always learned about everything she knows, even though she's in fourth grade. While the others, her friend, even Diana Barry, is in fifth grade. So Annie had to learn very hard. And for a few more weeks, suddenly Annie wanted to go to school. So that's when Marilla said that she can't go to school. In the school, again, Gilbert Blythe was actually one of her angriest people, one of the people Annie was hate a lot. And Annie heard that Gilbert was very good at every subject, and especially in the top of the class. So Annie was being very angry about this, have learned for all by her for as much as she can, and the two of them have been doing it until 16 ages. Yes, ages at 16. So, the school suddenly heard the news that Mr. Charlie was going to go away and there will be a new teacher, Mrs. Stacy, will come in and help the class. That is when Annie about 12 or 13 already, and the school and there will be some few good students who are going to learn for their exam in the Queen School. Annie was the one who chosen to be in the class to learn to do the exam for the Queen's Day, and everything was very okay again. Since she was now very tall and grown up, and she had a lot of friends. Also, Avonlea, the village was called Avonlea, became more happier every time because thanks to Annie's imagination, everywhere she goes, she will go to name one thing, which makes it amazing. She also playing with her friends, especially, but she never going on because there's one type of problem when she was playing by imagining so much that she had almost drowned in a river, and thankfully Cooper Fleet have come to the rescue. Also, there's other thing that make her learn her lesson, that when she cooked the cake, well, the cake was at first looked very delicious when they're eating, and it was very weird because there's oil, a type of oil inside it, which makes Annie very sad. And because that was actually the guest from the church come and have a good tea cup for today. Now, Annie also had the third problem in our whole life. That problem was one of the problems that she scared most, is that her hair was actually red, and she really hated red hair. She wanted to become beautiful black color. So she had buy a bottle who going to make your hair change color, and started to spray around all her hair. And the hair color had turned into blue, not black, which led Annie very upset. And she said that the blue color even worse than the black color. And the punish for her, Marilla don't want her punished, but Annie have a way to punish her on. By Marilla have to cut away all the blue strands of hair in Annie's hair, and then she was going to be almost like a hairless girl. She must come to school with that hair, and everybody was going to laugh at her, but she never said a word because that would be her punish. And also in Avonlea, she had a lot of times with her friends, especially the times when she was in an opera house for the day. It was so good and so cool. She sing song and started to read a small story, which makes everybody really happy to see that. Now, for Annie, she's ready to come to the Queen School again, the Queen High School, and everybody, including Gilbert Blythe, will come. Diana Barry wasn't because her family don't let her to become a teacher. So Diana Barry will become something else in the future. Annie learned with her friends and was very fun, but also must learn very early because only 1.5 years left until the day began to get more Queen High School. She learned a lot, including all her friends, and until for the end of the day before we done an exam, she Annie and Gilbert again become the first in class. Yes, Annie and Gilbert always in first in class, even when they are in Queen High School. There, the two of them have learned for a lot of times until they have all ready again. Everything was okay, and yeah, all done. And now Annie was very scared of the exam that going to let her see the future, if she going to stay in Queen High School or going to go on without anything else. So she started to work with her exam the next morning, and she's the first in all of the island of the Prince Edward's Island. And everybody was very impressed about Annie. She in the class of the first grade class, which was going to teach all the students that was in first grade, including Gilbert Blythe. They learned there until Annie found that she can have a Avenue certificate, I guess like that, and also she can also win the golden medal. Yeah, the golden medal also. So she started to work on until at the end of the year there will be a surprise. Gilbert Blythe have won the golden medal, and for Annie she won a prize at the Avenue certificate plus a 225.50 or something like that dollar, and Annie was very happy about this. Everybody saw her on stage and very delighted to have a girl in Albany. She also went to the opera for the second time in the 4 years she learned there. Now that she's not a girl anymore, she's now a beautiful lady and even taller than Marilla, which made Marilla very sad because every time when you raise a child, they're going to just let you back, and that child will going to make family and going to have a better life. Yeah, like that. So Marilla was very sad. But Annie, in the other hand, was very sad to leave Marilla alone. Also, she loved Marilla, including Matthew. Matthew Cuthbert was one of her favorites in all of the family of Green Gable. He always buy her a lot of new presents in Christmas, new dresses, new pearls, new makeup things, new jewels, yes. And Annie liked that, but also she become a very good people and a good lady as well. She's always learn how to make friends. She always very good to people and never be mean. Like the year when she first Linda. Okay, now on the opera day, everybody was very excited, especially Annie, when she hummed a beautiful song, and everybody was very happy to hear it until the song was ended. Annie was the first to become a good woman at humming this song. Alright, now it's all finished, and she was going after she had. Well, there's something very sad that happened the next day. The day when the bank that the Green Gable have left all their monies in that bank, and the bank were going to destroy immediately, which made Matthew Cuthbert very scared. He also have a sickness, a heart sickness, and it was very bad. And when he heard this, he was so surprised that he found out instantly after hearing the news. which will make Annie very sad, including Marilla, who always think Matthew as a brother, a good brother, and very happy to have it. But still, Annie and Marilla never give up on their way and journey. They started to work on, and Annie, the first thing before Matthew died, have find a way she going to go to Redmond School. But since Matthew died and Marilla is almost ready to be blind, so Annie Shirley have to so Annie Shirley will going to stay and become the teacher of all the schools with Marilla Cuthbert, and everything will be alright again until for next year. Well, what if what's going to happen? Also, she have made friends with Gilbert Blythe for almost 5 years since the day that Gilbert has been plaguing her about a joke, and Annie have forgive him, and they become very best friends. Also, Deanna Barry was very happy about this because Annie will never go to Redmond schools, and they were going to be living together and having fun with Marilla Cuthbert. Okay, this is the end of the book. Thank you so much for watching my video, and tell me more about